Hello, hello, yogis. Welcome to our Wednesday Connect Restorative class. So all month this month, we are looking more deeply at the yogic philosophy of the eight-limbed path. And it's not that this path is linear. This path is like branches that we connect to at different times. And in our restorative practice, we are focused on the niyamas. And the niyamas are principles that help us to govern our internal relationship, our relationship to ourselves. So there are 5 niyamas, and we're going to look at each niyama in connection to a different posture, as well as gaining a deeper understanding of how we can live in accordance and in alignment to the niyamas. So to me, yoga, it can inspire us and lead us to being the best version of ourselves. And to me, that's exactly what yogic philosophy, when we look at yogic philosophy, that's what it does. It helps us to be the best version of ourselves. And that really is what the niyamas and the yamas are connected to. So we're going to start today's class in child's pose. I invite you to take a blanket and lay it across your mat and have your bolster out in front of you. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a firm pillow that works too. Bringing your big toes to touch, knees come out as wide as feels comfortable in your body today. You can sink your hips back to your heels like I am, or maybe you just start to walk your upper body forward, finding that bolster underneath you, finding that support, and allowing yourself to really rest into this. You can have a gentle bend in the elbows as you sink the hips back and reach the fingertips forward. So the first of the 5 niyamas is cleanliness. And of course, when we think about that, it is cleanliness of body. So making sure that we are taking care of our body, our physical self, but we can bring this deeper into the different layers of ourself. Let's take a deep breath in here and a full breath out. Let yourself sink into this pose. Let yourself sink into the props. And a deep breath in, feel the body expand. And a full breath out, sink into it. So as we bring breath awareness in, we're practicing the limb of pranayama, which is breath awareness or breath control. So let's just really connect in this opening posture to our breath awareness. With each exhale, maybe you can allow yourself to sink more deeply into the pose, more deeply into the props. Pressing your tailbone back and lengthening your crown forward. So as we look at these layers of the self, we have our physical self with it, which is our most exterior layer. And when we think of cleanliness, that's quite an obvious way. That's the most obvious, keeping our body clean, clean food that we put in our body, that we nourish our body with, clean clothes, clean house. And then we can sink to one level deeper, which is our mind. And we can think clean thoughts. And it doesn't mean that those sad or angering or frustrating thoughts don't come in, but it means that when we consciously choose our thoughts, just like we choose our clean clothes, we choose our thoughts. We can choose thoughts of empowerment. We can choose thoughts of positivity, of optimism. We can choose thoughts of encouragement. We can choose thoughts of love. This is how we practice cleanliness of the mind.
Then we can sink a layer deeper into our emotions. And as we think these positive thoughts, we will generate positive emotions. Our thoughts and our emotions are very, very connected. So we can choose happiness, we can choose joy. And it doesn't mean that we don't feel the difficult emotions. We want to feel the difficult emotions. We want that colorful spectrum of emotion. It just means that when we have the awareness, we can think and feel and choose more positive emotions. And then we can go a level deeper to our intuition and our inner knowing. And we can trust and act on that intuition and inner knowing. We can reflect on that intuition and inner knowing. And rather than say, oh, no, that's not right, I can't do that, we can say, get more curious about what that intuition is, where that wisdom is guiding us. Trusting in our own inner wisdom, trusting in our own inner guidance, trusting that our path is completely unique to us. Let's take a couple breaths here and ask yourself, is there anywhere in my life that I can create more cleanliness? From here, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press your upper body up, bring your knees underneath your hips, come into a stable tabletop position, and let's inhale, arch the spine, shine the chest forward, exhale, round the spine, head hangs heavy. Inhale, arch and lift into your cow pose. Exhale, round into your cat pose. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, round. Come back to neutral and let's shift ourselves onto our backs for happy baby. Bringing the bolster across the mat, coming down onto your back, and we're going to put our hips onto the bolster and come down onto your back. Now, make sure that that bolster is placed nicely underneath the low back, and we're going to reach for the outside edges of the feet, pulling the knees into the side body. We're just going to hang out here. So, happy baby. And the next principle of the Niyamas is contentment. And I thought happy baby was a good representation of contentment. Maybe you bring a smile to your face and just let yourself feel content with where you are in this moment. Hopefully you're in a safe space. Hopefully you have a roof over your head, or maybe you're out in nature. But allowing yourself to connect to the feeling of being content, of being content. This is an underlying current. Gratitude helps us to connect with contentment, to be okay with what we have and okay with what we don't. Contentment is this underlying current where we know that we are okay, where we know that life is impermanence, and we know that we are ever changing. And as we change, we can connect to the concept that change happens for us, not to us. That change helps us to grow. And we can feel content in our growth, in how we grow. Just like we can be content with children growing, we can feel content with our own growth, with our own path, with our own evolution, allowing for that deep current of contentment to be what is connected to us, through us. Take a couple deep breaths here and ask yourself, where am I content in my life? And really focus on those areas. Santosha is the Sanskrit word for contentment. So maybe you just repeat that, Santosha. Santosha. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. Maybe you gently shift your feet from side to side and bring that smile to your face. Extending your legs straight up. Take a moment and maybe pedal out your legs. And settle into your supported legs up the wall, feeling the support of the bolster beneath your hips. Close down your eyes. Now, this is a bit more of a challenging restorative posture. And our next Niyama is Tapas. And Tapas is heat, where we build up passion, we build up desire. Knowing that we can be content and still want for things. We can want for more, we can want for different, we can want for change. And we can practice discipline in creating, designing, accomplishing. So when we think about heat, heat has a transformational property to it. And when we build up heat in our lives, when we build up passion, when we build up this burning desire, we build heat. And we can look at it through the physical sense as well, where our yoga practice can build heat in our body, our exercise can build heat in our body, and we're transforming energy within our body. So looking at tapas as that burning desire. And it's such an interesting balance between having desires and striving and wanting to accomplish and still feeling content. Where I see this application in life is where we look at the journey and we know that it's more about the journey than it is about the destination. And the journey is really what transforms us. The journey is what really helps us to grow. It's not just about accomplishing and checking something off the list. It's who you become along the way. When I did my 10-day silent retreat, we had 1 hour per day that we could go and ask the leaders of the retreat a question. And that was the only time that we could talk throughout the entire 10 days. And there was only 2 days that I had questions. And one of my questions was, how do I practice non-attachment or contentment and still strive for my goals. How I'm a goal-oriented person. I'm a very driven person. And what the leader of the retreat said was, when things don't work out the way that you expect, how long do you cling to the outcome? How easily can you let go? And to me, that is exactly what that burning desire is, and yet still practicing being content. Knowing that we can strive, but we can always pivot. We don't have to beat our head against the wall when things aren't working out exactly as we expected. We can open ourselves up to other possibilities that may serve us in an even greater way. So that's how I view that burning of desire, connecting to that passion, that inner calling, and trusting that it will unfold in a natural, beautiful way. Bend into your knees, plant your feet on the floor, press your hips up, slide that bolster from beneath you, and let's place it over to the right side. Slow and controlled, lower the hips down. Let's bring the knees into the chest, gently rock side to side. Let's inhale, reach our arms up overhead, take a deep breath in, stretch from fingertip to toe. Full breath out, let your body sink into the floor. Deep breath in, stretch from fingertip to toe. Full breath out, let your body sink. Coming into a fallen tree pose. So bringing your right leg, bending into it, and placing your right foot on the inside edge of your left quad. Let's cactus out our arms and really open up through the chest and bring the bolster as close in as you need to support the knee. Come back to your breath, inhales and exhales through your nose. Our next Niyama is Svadhyaya, which is self-knowledge or self-reflection. Now, I chose tree pose here because I love being rooted in the knowingness that at our essence, we are unconditional love. Being rooted and grounded in that idea, and then having self-knowledge and reflecting on actions, on ideas, on beliefs that we have. When we have a reaction to something, it is our opportunity to reflect and learn something about ourselves. What is this teaching me? And if we are rooted and grounded in self-reflection, self-knowledge, self-awareness, unconditional love, there is so much growth that we can welcome in to our experience. How is this trigger, this situation, helping me to evolve? How is this serving my highest good? How is this helping me to become a brighter, more aligned version of myself? What is this teaching me about me? Rooting and grounding ourselves in self-awareness, self-reflection, self-knowledge. Let's bring our knee through center, take a moment, squeeze it in, extend it out long, grab your bolster, place it on the opposite side of your body. Pull your left leg up and in, and then let it fall out to the left, placing your left foot on the inside edge of your right quad. Cactus out the arms, opening up through the chest, allowing yourself to really sink in and root in. Asking yourself the question, where can I have more self-awareness? And maybe bringing to your mind's eye a recent situation where you had a strong reaction to a certain situation. And taking a moment to reflect, what role did I play in this situation? What can I learn about me in this situation? Just allowing yourself to settle into that reflection. Sadhyana. Sadhyana. Self-knowledge, self-reflection, self-awareness. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here, practicing our pranayama, our breath awareness. Let your hands come down by your side. Slowly, gently press yourself up. Extend your left leg out long. Plant your hands behind you and let's just take a moment to pedal out the legs and shift the knees from side to side. Press yourself up. We're going to take our blanket and roll up our blanket. Roll up your blanket. Place it behind you. And then take your bolster and bring that behind you. And that's going to become your backrest. Back your tailbone right up to your bolster. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and allow yourself to come all the way down onto your bolster. Letting your hands come down by your side, letting your shoulders fall away from your ears in a reclined butterfly. Really allow yourself to sink and settle in here. For our final niyama, and this is one that I have the hardest time saying, Isvara aprandayama, yana. Ishvar pranidhana. So what that means is surrender to the divine, surrender to the higher powers, surrender to that higher self, surrender to God, surrender to trusting and knowing that you are fully supported, fully surrendering into your bolster, fully surrendering into your mat, fully surrendering in this very physical way. Knowing that your path is your path alone and trusting that you are never alone. So though your path is unique, you are never alone. There is support every step of the way. Surrendering to that guidance, completely trusting in that guidance. Inhales and exhales through the nose. With each exhale, see if you can release a little bit more into your mat. Maybe you repeat the affirmation, I trust my path. I trust my guidance. I trust my growth. I trust my path. I trust my guidance. I trust my growth.
Staying connected to your breath. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Let's take a deep breath here. Open mouth exhale, breathe it out. Let's take 2 more just like that. A big breath in. Full breath out. Big breath in. Full breath out. And slowly, gently draw your knees together. Flip your palms, palm facing down. Press your upper body up. Let's place that bolster off to the side. Take the blanket, maybe unroll it, and create a nice pillow for your head as we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Coming all the way down onto your back. You can place one hand onto your heart, one hand onto your belly. Reconnect to your breath awareness. And maybe you want to repeat these affirmations out loud with me. I choose clean thoughts, clean food, clean emotions. I choose clean thoughts, clean foods, clean clothes, clean emotions. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. I choose to be content with my life as it is and as it changes. I choose to be content in my life as it is and as it changes. Deep breath in, full breath out. I'm connected to my purpose, my passion, and my deepest desires. I am connected to my passion, to my purpose, and my deepest desires. Deep breath in, full breath out. Deep breath in, full breath out. I practice self-knowledge, self-reflection, and self-awareness daily. I practice self-awareness, self-knowledge, and self-reflection daily. Deep breath in, full breath out. I surrender to the perfection of divine guidance. I surrender to the perfection of divine guidance. Deep breath in,
Full breath out. I surrender to the divine. I surrender to the divine. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Bring your knees into your chest. Gently rock side to side. Grab the backs of your legs. Rock yourself up into an easy seat. Ground down into your sitting bones. Press through your palms. Tuck your chin to your chest. Taking a moment to be grateful for your practice, to be grateful for these guidelines of how to be the best version of yourself, to connect to the highest version of yourself, to take care of yourself. Yogic philosophy can lead us to a place of total bliss, knowing that that is what we are here to experience, and that every aspect, every spectrum of the human experience is for us. Our pain, our pleasure, our sadness, our joy, everything in between is here for us to live as our most authentic, aligned self. Thank you so much for being here today, for sharing in this space and allowing me to share this practice with you. It is always my honor. The light, the love, the wisdom in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages. The light, the love, the wisdom in you. Namaste. I hope to see you again on your mats very, very soon. And until then, may your light be your guide.